All right guys, so the next exercise is a lateral raise. We've got this axis here at the shoulder joint. We're rotating around that, okay? With the weight by your side, we've got no resistance because it's falling through the axis, so we're balanced here. As soon as we start to take it away, the load increases a lot. Now when we're here, there's the greatest amount of torque to the shoulder. We've got a short crowbar with the deltoids. We've got the dumbbell all the way out here that wants to drop down. So the dumbbell has what we call mechanical advantage. The shoulder tissues do not. Okay, so common mistakes with this exercise, you can see people swing it. So they're coming out of that perpendicular position. Okay. Another one with this is the strength profile and the resistance profile do not match up. And what I mean by that is we are strongest here in the shoulder and weakest here. With the dumbbell, it's easiest here and it's hardest here. So preferably we could use cables or just back off a little bit, go a little lighter. Soften the elbow, shorten that moment arm. Okay, another mistake a lot of people make is that they swing the weight and they come out of the plane, or they go here and they go here. The reality is if we're moving around this axis right now, we've got anterior deltoid and middle deltoid on top. If we want to do the shoulder exercise and emphasize the anterior deltoid, all we need to do is rotate the humerus. When we do that, we put the anterior deltoid on top, a little bit of middle deltoid, and now the rear deltoid is right out of the picture. We're still moving around this axis. If I wanted to get the rear deltoid into the picture, I would just rotate my humerus and put it on top. I could also bring myself forward to make sure that I'm getting that tissue lined up for work. So we're going to start by thinking about pushing those weights away from our sides. Again, we're thinking tangential, so away from the body. And now we're thinking up, 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 90 degrees, just over, coming back down, control. Again, it's that tug of war around the joint. We're coming away, and now we're pushing up, 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 pause. Just lose the tug of war. And you'll notice that the angle is slightly forward. It's not back here, jamming the shoulder. It's slightly forward, allowing the scapula to move. If we want to put different tissues on top, it's just a matter of rotating the humerus. This is more anterior deltoid. If we rotate it this way, it's going to be more rear deltoid. If we want to emphasize that even more, we can lean forward slightly. Okay guys, so there's one more thing I want to talk about when it comes to lateral raises. People are getting too overly concerned with retraction of the shoulder blades, and they're even doing it when it comes to movements like this. So I'm going to ask Ella to come in, and I'm going to show you what happens with the scapula when it doesn't roll around the rib cage. So Ella's going to turn this way for us, okay? And again, we're going to see what happens at the scapula. Now, we saw before when she's in the plane of the scapula, which as you can see is slightly forward, the scapula moves around the rib cage. You can see it come up, upward rotation. You can see it come down, downward rotation. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. What I see a lot of people doing now, especially with rehab, is they retract their shoulders as much as they can, and then they try to lift. It's so much harder for the scapula to move. It can't roll around the rib cage, and she can't even get all the way to the top. Now, as soon as she unlocks the scapula and lets it do what it wants to do, which is protract around the rib cage, as she lifts those arms up, as she gets higher, you can see now the arms will come all the way to the top so that the humerus can actually sit on top of the scapula. Okay, so when we're doing this lateral raise movement, we want the shoulders to be able to move freely. And as you can see now, the deltoids are able to do what they want to do. The scapula is allowed to roll around the rib cage. And we can see if we just turn the angle slightly with Ella, with the humerus, and we bring it up, now that rear deltoid is on top doing the work. If we turn it to the middle, we've got more middle deltoid and some anterior deltoid. And if we turn the arm this way now, you can see we've rotated the humerus and we put anterior deltoid on top. And as she comes up, you can see those tissues now doing the work, some middle deltoid, but now the rear deltoid is soft.